What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. This is episode number 22. And we start today's episode with a look at the fixtures for April. As you can see, 5 of our final 8 Premier League games coming this month, including a massive one against league leaders Manchester City, who, as you can see, with 8 games to go, are 5 points clear of Liverpool in second place. But I haven't talked about this at all throughout the course of the season because I never really entertained the possibility of it happening realistically. But as we right now are clear of Arsenal and Spurs in 4th and 5th on goal difference, so we do have the game in hand on both North London clubs right now. We're only 9 points behind the league leaders with those 8 games to go, and do have the same goal difference with Manchester City as well. So it's doable. I mean, it's physically possible. Whether it's realistic or not, I mean, let's be honest here, I would definitely say absolutely not. But it is a possibility of it happening, though it is an incredibly slim one, But still, for the first game of April then, the first of 5 Premier League games coming this month, taking Aston Villa right now down towards the bottom end of the table, which should be safe for another year in the Premier League. Heading into the game where you saw the title, you knew you'd see it happen at some point. It happens inside the first minute of the episode. Daniel Podence scores, I mean, probably the goal of the series, in my opinion. We've seen some amazing goals, a scorpion kick, a karate kick, just some bizarre flair type of goals, but this probably my favourite of the lot. I must say I have struggled to score long range goals in this year's FIFA. I do find them quite difficult, but that was absolutely fantastic from Podence. About 30 yards from goal, bends in off the underside of the crossbar. It hits the bar twice on its way into the back of the net as Podence gives the lead and we go a goal up. But right before the break, Villa would grab themselves a penalty, and I mean, I gotta say, I thought it was a very debatable one. At that, my reaction on the sidelines probably summarised my true reaction as well in real life. I didn't think it was a penalty myself. It was given. Penalty for Villa, chance to get back on level terms here right before the break. Not very good at saving penalties, and even though Gaz was in goal, felt for sure that Darrell was going to smack it into the back of the net, give it a leveler, but instead Paolo Gazzaniga pulls off the save and keeps us up by a goal. Heading in to the break, guesses correctly. It's a good height for the Argentine as well. Gets 2 strong gloves on it and pushes it behind for a corner. I absolutely love Gazzaniga, man. He turns out to be the hero in this game as we hold on to the 1-0 victory. We do have the best joint defensive record in the division this season, just like we had last season as well. And, you know, Gazzaniga this season has been really, really impressive. I've talked about Patricio's struggles this year. He's been a little bit better in the second half of the season, but to be totally honest here, I think Gazzaniga's been a better goalkeeper this year. I said at the start of the season I was willing to give Gazza some more game time this year, and he has come up big in several games, including that one as well. He's got a much better clean sheet to game ratio than the Portuguese number 11. Gazzaniga pulling off the heroics. I love the guy so much, man. You know, there's so many cult heroes on my channel. Normally I won't re-sign them in future series, but there is always like 1 or 2 exceptions. Gazza is one of those exceptions. I love the Argentine to pieces, and I swear it's going to be a sad, sad day when he retires from football altogether. I love him so much. But still, the second game of today's episode, after Manchester City drew during our win against Aston Villa, the gap was cut to 7 points heading into this game between the two teams here. So as Guardiola's side come and take us on at Molineux, there was a chance to cut the gap with 6 games to go to 4 points if we could win. And heading to the game, I started off in attack mode, looking aggressive, looking for the early goal, and we got it through that man, Renato Sanchez. Jimenez might be chasing the golden boot, but Renato Sanchez this year, our second top scorer, I think 16 goals in the Premier League. He has been unbelievable, and last year was so good in his debut year, he's been even better this time around. So Sanchez with a lovely little chip goal to give us the lead, and 28 minutes in, it's that man once again, Gazza baby, making the save, keeping us up by a goal, denying his Argentine compatriot Sergio Aguero as we still led by a goal to nil. 12 minutes before the break though, Man City really responded after we got ourselves the goal up for Renato Sanchez. They didn't really start the game off looking awake, if you know what I mean. They were playing at a very slow tempo, but after I got the goal through Sanchez, I was just powerless to resist. Their passing so accurate. I needed to find a pocket of space at some point, and they did. KDB, the captain, giving Man City the leveler there 12 minutes before half time as Guardiola's side find equalising goal. They didn't need to win this game, really. I felt we had to win it though to have any chance of getting into a serious title race for the final 6 games. We almost got back in front here right before the break. Daniel Podence trying to dink it over Ederson for a tired angle onto the roof of the net as it was still 1-1. Chip shots have just been my best friend in this year's FIFA. I thought it was going to be again there, but sadly just over the Brazilian's bar as it was still tied at 1-1 heading to the second half. And in that second half as well, 10 minutes after the restart, Sergio Aguero, that man, once again gives Man City the goal to get back in front. He set up the first for KDB, scores this one as well, and I got to say here, man, seriously, my defending has been pretty decent this season, I must admit, but for this moment here, it's one I don't want to watch again, but you kind of need to see it again, see how embarrassing it was. Ball into Aguero, and he just turns Connor Cody inside out, man. Absolutely atrocious. We know Cody's been amazing through this series, but that was my bad there. I got a bit too aggressive when coming out to close him down. He just ran a literal circle around my captain and banged it past Gaza to make it 2-1. So Man City back in front. We don't give up though. We get ourselves in the game, looking for that level out with 3 minutes to go. Oh, so frustrating. That was the moment. Tried to blast it past Edison Renato Sanchez, going for his second goal of the game, but the Brazilian pulls off the right, makes the late save, keeps Man City in front, and that was how the game would finish. Our undefeated streak is over. The visitors get the win, and that right there ends any chance of us winning the title. It wasn't really realistic. We'd be in a title race regardless. We did well to get ourselves into a slight possibility of having a chance, but it was never really going to happen, let's be honest here. So 10 points is the gap now with 6 games to go. It's not going to happen. We dropped to 4th place as well, behind the Gunners, 1 point ahead of us, though we do have the game in hand, and we're 2 points clear of Spurs in 5th, and we've also got the game in hand on Mourinho's side as well. So top 4 is still looking very, very likely, very, very strong possibility that will happen, as long as we don't choke it away, but after that loss there, it's officially confirmed there will not be a title to celebrate in Molineux come the end of the season. Now, let's be honest here. It was never going to happen. Mathematically, it was possible, sure, but the chance of it happening was like the chance of me getting married before 30. Yeah, it's a possibility, but let's be honest here. It's time to get realistic, son. But still, for the third game this episode, taking on Fulham away at Craven Cottage here in West London, aiming to get ourselves back to winning ways on the back of the heartbreaking defeat to Man City there. Renato Sanchez, who was our player of the game there against Guardiola's side, giving us the lead. I thought the celebration was hilarious as well. Pushed down not once but twice. Didn't have the chance to celebrate, but another goal for Renato, and a great chance for him just after the hour mark as well to get his second goal of the game. You know, there are some games where he just turns it on. This was looking like it's going to be one of those games there. Just wide the post, we were still leading by a goal, and to us, despite only holding a 1-goal slender lead, we were in complete control of this game, and with 20 minutes to go, looking for that second, we would find it through. Raul Jimenez turns his man, drills it past Bettinelli, and finds our second goal to give us the cushion and make sure we would hold on to the 3 points. And again, 6 games to go. The game in hand on both Arsenal and Spurs right now. We know destiny is in our own hands. Win the final 6 and we qualify for the Champions League. We're 1-6 down there away in West London. Sanchez and Jimenez, our players of the season for 2 straight seasons, giving us the win as we're now 5 victories away from a top 4 finish guaranteed. And I've got to say as well, you know, returning to winning ways there, that's been one of the staples of our season as well. It seems like whenever we do lose a game, we win the next one afterwards and we return to winning ways. In fact, we've only lost back-to-backs once, all throughout the season, just once. And one of the games we lost back-to-back was because we simulated it. The only simulated game of the series against Istanbul Başakşehir in our Europa League group, which of course was the matchday 6 game, which counted for nothing, as already confirmed top spot with a game to spare. So that's really been a staple of our season, really, responding from disappointment. And so for our 4th and final game of today's episode, right before the FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea at Wembley, taking on Leeds United here, of course, survived the first season in the Premier League, but right now just in the relegation zone in 18th place, really needing to win this game if they're to try and climb out of it with just a few games to go. Well, they started off looking very aggressive. Rodrigo gave them the leveller, but right before the break we would find, gave them the opening goal, but right before the break we would find the leveller through Renato Sanchez, once again 3 in 3 for our number 4. And again, I think it's like 16 or 17 Premier League goals for our box-to-box midfielder this year. And I know I sound like a broken record when I say it, but honestly, I've not played with any better central midfielder in this year's FIFA. He's incredible. But in the second half, Leeds would find the goal to get back in front for the second time in the game. One of those goals where I just think to myself, how do I defend that, man? Seriously, like long ball over the top, exploits our high line. Rafinha, who we could have signed in the summer, don't forget, we chose Rafa instead, runs onto it and bangs it past our goalkeeper and into the back of the net, and Leeds restore their lead, and it's 2-1. Ridiculous goal. Had no chance of stopping that one, but Leeds back in front. Thankfully though, 64 minutes into the game, still down by a goal. Once again, we were peg Leeds back for the second time in the game. Jimenez with yet another goal as he makes it 2-2 and gets goal number 28 for the season as he pursues the golden boot, which he missed out on by a single goal last season. Heading to the closing stage of the game, still tied at 2-2. Couldn't afford a slip up like this with just a few games to go in our pursuit of Champions League football. 15 minutes on the clock, but Dents dips it to the far post, and who is there to turn it in from close range? Well, he does it so often. Rao to the rescue, bags his brace and wins us the game as we come back from a goal down on 2 separate occasions to win it by 3-2. And for Podence as well, scored the goal of the series earlier on in today's episode. I've talked about him a few times this season as well. You know, there are certain players who are better as role players and subs when they come off the bench or they only start occasionally. Podence is that man. Think about last season, how underwhelming he was, how he underperformed in so many games. Now it seems like whenever I bring him off the bench for a burst of energy and some fresh legs, or start him in midweek games like our Europa League or Cup games, he always seems to perform. He's really thrived in a bench role this season. So 3-2 the final score. Rao to the rescue once again. Another masterclass from our Mexican in a perfect 10 as we do get the win. A very lucky one at that, I'll say that, coming from behind twice to get the victory. And with 4 games to go, no games in hand for anyone now. 8 points behind Man City. We know we're not going to win the title, but we are now 7 points clear of Spurs in 5th. Destiny is firmly in our own hands with 4 games to go. But that won't this episode of the Realistic Career Mode, guys. So big thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed it, and if you have, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of the Realistic Career Mode, the penultimate episode of Season 2, featuring the FA Cup semi-final very soon.